Our consumer segment starts with the possible links between violent video games and real-world attacks.
WUFT's consumer anchor Henry Coburn joins us now.
A White House meeting on the subject came just 3 weeks after the Florida school shooting. A national conversation is revisiting the idea that an obsession with violent media can lead some to acts of violence. Liz McLaughlin has more on the research and what parents should know.
Graphic images in a fantasy world, hitting close to home after real-life mass shootings. Many, including President Trump, suggesting a connection between the two.
I'm hearing more and more people say the level of violence on video games is really shaping young people's thoughts.
But researchers say there's no evidence that playing violent video games leads to violent behavior.
For every shooter who is playing a violent video game, there are hundreds of thousands or millions of kids out there who are playing these games who aren't doing that.
The industry is transparent about this content. Video games have rating systems. This one's M for mature. What that means is that it contains intense violence, blood and gore, and has an age suggestion of 17 and up.
But many play before that age. Researchers say about 90% of young boys have played a violent video game by the time they reach high school.
I don't think that it's fair to say that there's no rationale for keeping your kids from playing violent video games. But if you think that it's going to result in them engaging in violence and actually hurting other people, the research just doesn't support that.
While there is still more to be learned about the effects of violent media, researchers say policymakers will need to look beyond gamers in the complex issue of gun violence prevention. Liz McLaughlin, NBC News.
We've all heard of fake news, and on Twitter, fake news travels fast. An MIT study shows false stories on Twitter travel 6 times faster and reach more people than the truth. Researchers looked at 126,000 stories on Twitter since 2006. The results? Fake stories were more likely to go viral. The reason? Humans love outlandish and novel stories, which are more likely to be showcased on social media. And it's springtime, and that means spring break for students, but millennials and families alike are shaking things up this year. Travel experts say they're seeing millennials making more reservations and buying more travel insurance than ever before because they're choosing European destinations over the beach. While back closer to home, families are ditching their smartphones in favor of a more educational trip.
We're looking for destinations and opportunities to disconnect from the technology and reconnect with one another.
Travel expert Janine Tornatore says that
travel plans you have this year, it won't cost as much or much more than last year. Prices are only up about 2%. You may soon receive your online purchases via drone. According to the Wall Street Journal, drones are expected to begin limited package deliveries right to your doorstep within just a few months. At least 10 pilot programs have been approved by the Federal Aviation Administration. These programs could include package delivery and are scheduled to start by May. However, the green light could be delayed if proponents can't overcome lingering concerns about safety and security and regulatory restrictions.